I felt like a child again when I first walked into the room and saw the musical instruments. I was ready to get hands-on and improvise. This silent emotional stimuli that I received visually was being processed in my body and brain through constant feedback to my amygdala and temporal lobes. This thrilling emotion was interrupted by one single phrase. I want you all to focus on the emotion you were assigned and pick up an instrument to express it with. Missing that first introductory session resulted in me not having an emotion to work with. It transferred me to every little occasion in my life that I was caught off guard and unprepared. More specifically, it took me back to my Year 4 music teacher, where she was constantly asking me to play the flute in school concerts, even though it made me feel panicked. According to Bowlby, the lack of understanding and support for these emotional expressions may result in their unconscious repression of splitting. When I was asked to perform and remain calm and confident, even I was not able and wanting to do so, a split emerged between what was socially accepted from me and my emotions to be and what I was experiencing. This conflict is internalized and thus kept active in the unconscious, where it may severely constrain the adult's ability to relate and express him or herself emotionally. I was clearly projecting my old musical teacher on the music therapist, and I was channeling the child that is afraid of failure and judgment this time. The closer my turn came, the more unrested and neurotic I became. It made me think about how patients might feel overwhelmed with all these materials, having an observer therapist looking whilst they draw something so esoteric and personal. A strong alliance is needed when those buried emotions, needs, and anxieties appear within the therapy room between the client and the therapist. I assigned myself the emotion confusion since I was utterly confused. I picked the wave drum, which produced wave-like sounds that immediately soothed me and transported me to my happy place, home, Greece. As I continued playing with it, whilst being aware of my breathing, I realized that I was being nostalgic. When I get confused, I tend to reach out for things that I'm familiar with, in this case my memories of being meditative by the seaside. This emotional turbulence made me think of working with people with trauma, abuse, and addiction. Clients who struggle with the mentioned issues may not have a safe haven, a resilient, healthy technique that they can refer to. Their feeling and experiencing of nostalgia may lead deeper in their shadow self without guidance and support. This is something that I need to further explore in my own personal therapy. We introduce ourselves by doing a bodily pose within the circle to depict our assigned emotion. This time I was aware to detect my bodily responses and to be more in control of them. When I did my pose, the people in the circle were asked to copy me. The fact that they mirrored me and copied the movement made all my anxiety and stress go away. According to Zena, affect regulation is mediated by relationships with others, and that's exactly what I experienced during the session. It reminded me of the parallel between the mother-child and the client-therapist relationship through mirroring, projection, and empathizing. We were asked to get into pairs and by putting our palm on their back of our partner to guide them around the room towards any direction we wanted and vice versa. Once again, I felt nervous, confused as to where to guide them, sweating and neurotically moving. The whole process led me think about a strong therapeutic relationship and this interdependence and the trust dynamics within it. The client trusts the therapist and the therapist trusts the process, and they both trust each other in a healthy relationship. It made me appreciate the aspects of non-directive approaches, and in my personal life made me think how I'm not the one to guide others on the path I think they should take, but I'm an empathizing platform, mean that with my own emotions and boundaries will stand by them as they are processing. This workshop was liberating and highly personal to me and to my development. By the end of the workshops, through reflecting and attaining to my emotions and body, I trusted the process and my body listened to that. The more the workshops advanced, my heart was pounding less quickly, I did not sweat, and I did not automatically go into flight or fight mode. This was a complete parallel for me to how clients might experience the therapeutic process. After being given repeated support and have been mirrored and attended to, they might feel comfortable bringing their emotions and feelings in their relationship and the contained space.